Hi crafty friends, this is Joy with Create It with Joy. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so very much for stopping by. Today's project is for Spellbinders using their Geometrical Floral frames. I love this die set. I can't say enough about their dies of the month. I get their small and their large die of the month. And I've never been disappointed. And this geometrical shape frames are fantastic for cards. So here is the large die of the month. You definitely get florals, you get flowers, you get leaves, multiples of them, and so that's always nice. And then you have this small frame, and this has like a double frame in it, and that's the one I'm going to be using for this card in this video. And then there's this larger frame, and it just cuts out a singular one, but you can definitely cut out multiples, which I am doing for a card for Spellbinders blog hop in about a week or so. So you will see that. So let's get started on this card. I am starting with a piece of A2 size card, a card base of Neenah Classic Crest Solar White Cardstock, 110 pound, and I'm inking it up with the new Distress ink from Tim Holtz Speckled Egg, and I'm using Distress Oxide for this, and I am just laying down a fairly thin coat. I am making sure it's covered, but if it's not covered perfectly, it's not a big deal because we are going to be inking it again with this Speckled Egg. We will be using, there's more of us, me, I will be using Simon Says Stamp FLORA Stencil, and I'm using Wendy Vecchi's Make Art Station to hold this down. And this stencil is very delicate, so I started off by kind of going in circles, and then I changed how I was laying down the ink. I am just tapping it, and this is a really juicy ink pad because it is brand new, and so I am getting this paper, you can see they're really, really inky and really dark. And it's the same ink that I laid the base color down, but when I lift this, you will see that you can see the difference with the stencil. So it's really, really inky, so I'm going to be really careful to not touch it. But look at that. Doesn't that look gorgeous? It looks like suede. It is so pretty. This color is so stunning. And I'm just hitting it with my heat gun just real quick, and then I'm going to move it to the side. And I actually went and made lunch for me and my kiddos and let that dry because it was very, very wet. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so had lunch, die cut tons of flowers. And now I'm ready to run this through the die cut machine. So I'm taking that small frame and I'm going to tape that down, and I'm running that through my die cut machine. I use the Spellbinders Platinum 6 die cut machine. Absolutely love it. Zero complaints. It works fabulous for me. Now that that's done, there's the little pieces that are still stuck in here, and you want to keep those, so don't lose those, because we will be putting them back in when we'll be doing some inlaying. And so we need those pieces. And then you also have the frame pieces that come out of this, which I will not be using this frame for this card. I did cut it out of gold mirror cardstock, but you could save this for another card. It's so delicate and pretty. Now I did trim down this panel about 1/4 of an inch all the way around, well, maybe 1/8 of an inch all the way around, and I adhered it to a white card base. And like I said, I die cut that frame out of mirror gold cardstock from Spellbinders. And I'm using just a little bit of liquid glue, and I'm going to adhere that down. It fits right back in. And I'm actually leaving this inside white. I am not going to be putting that centerpiece back in here, although you could, and that would look fabulous. But those little pieces that you put aside to save, now it's time to fit them back in like a puzzle. So we're just going to inlay those back in. I'm just using a little bit of liquid glue and my tweezers and just adding those back in. And there is a really, really little tiny piece that you're just like, oh, I probably don't need that. You definitely need that. So make sure, again, you have all of your pieces. A little bit of liquid glue, just laying it in, and it looks beautiful. Now, even if you left it out, it still looks really, really beautiful. But I love the look of this, of putting those pieces back in there. Okay, so if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I do a lot of my laying out beforehand, which I did, and then I glue everything down. And I have really sped this up because it takes a minute to glue all of these pretty flowers down. But I did die cutting. I die cut out of white cardstock and of course out of the gold mirror cardstock. I also die cut out of cardstock Razzle Berry from Cardstock Warehouse. And I just wanted a little pop of color, and so that is that pink. And I am not doing a ton of it, just a little bit, but I felt like we needed something kind of bright and vibrant. Now, I will say that if you just added white flowers to this and kept it white and gold and this blue, it's absolutely stunning. There's nothing wrong with that, but I just felt like I needed a little something extra. So I added onto my white flowers just some of those pink centers, and then you'll see on a couple of these other, they look like leaves, but they're not. They will have like little pink flower buds at the end, and so that's how I will glue those on. Some of these flowers have some foam tape behind them for dimension, and so I'm just putting that in and around all the leaves. And I did 5 flowers because I'm a person that likes odd numbers or most of the time, because it really is very pleasing to the eye. So I'm just going to glue all of those together, adhere them down, and you've got this beautiful floral arrangement off to the side of this card. Now, originally my plan was to have this as a, right side up card, if that makes sense. But I didn't like how when I was laying out the flowers, I did not like the look of it. So I turned it this way and absolutely loved it. So, sometimes we have to be a little flexible in changing our design and how we thought the card was going to be. So here I'm laying down those little flower buds on a gold stem and on a white stem. I am stamping a sentiment that says love and hugs, and this is from Simon Says Stamp Beautiful Flowers stamp set. I was going to stamp it in black, but then I thought, no, I need to keep it in the same color family. So I am stamping it in that Speckled Egg Distress Oxide ink, and I'm so glad I did. It turned out beautiful. And then I'm going to trim that out with my paper trimmer, pop that up on some foam tape, and just adhere that down right above the flowers. So, I've really been into white space on my cards, so that center part still has a ton of white space, which for me, I like. To finish it off, I'm going to add a little bit of Ranger Diamond Stickles to the centers of the flowers and just kind of some dots on the outside of all of where the leaves are. I wanted a little bit of shimmer, a little bit of glitz, but I did not want to add anything that's going to take away from the main focal point of this. And so I just kept it pretty simple with the diamond stickles, and it turned out fantastic. Add a few more, and then we're going to call that good. Look at how pretty that is with all that gold mirror cardstock, and then the pop of pink and that beautiful background with the stencil. It is so, so pretty, and that die cut is just fabulous. Thank you guys so very much for stopping by. I hope that you enjoyed this project, and I hope that it inspires you to create something wonderful. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe to my channel, thumbs up, definitely comment because I love communicating with you guys, and share with your crafty friends. I do have some affiliate links below. It costs you nothing, but it does continue to help me to create these videos. So thank you for using them, and I will see you guys shortly. Have a really wonderful day. Bye.